Episode 2 of the Callum Dunlop podcast. So this is something that is so close to my heart that I'm really excited to talk about, because in my life, right, I have literally the only things that I've ever liked being consistent or being good at is fitness and sales. Every single job I've worked my entire life has been selling something. When my dad had me in his shoe shops at 13, he used to, hopefully no one gets offended, but we used to have this joke where I used to sell shoes to MILFs and I was very good at it. But then I've always been obsessed with fitness, right? I've tried so many jobs in the past where it was like selling something else that I wasn't really aligned with. I'd stick at it for like 3 to 6 months and then I go, this manager, he's this, he's that. And I go, why? What's going on? And then I started to kind of do the maths and look, right, I've said about 10 managers are in the wrong. Maybe it might be me, right? But I know people always ask me, like, why do you keep trying to stay in sales and stuff? Because it's genuinely something that I love and I'm so passionate about. And then obviously here we are today running a fitness sales team, one of the biggest fitness influencers probably on the planet, and it's an amazing feeling because I'm so aligned with the two things that I've always been obsessed with, right? But something I just want to talk about so deeply is, and I was having a great conversation with one of my friends who me and him are on the same pursuit, trying to be the best closers as we possibly can within the fitness industry. We were laughing about, like, why do we do this? Like, why? Like, we spend so much time, more time losing than winning, right? And when you kind of say that out loud, it sounds crazy, right? Because when you really deep what sales is, it's you spend, because a lot of people will say no before they say yes, right? And I look back at like the careers I was just talking about in the cold calling days when I used to make 150 calls a day, and the aim was to just try and book one appointment. And I would always aim for 3 because I was obsessed, right? Let's do the maths. So 100 calls, you only book 3 in a day. So I've just spent 97% of my day failing. How crazy does that sound, saying that out loud? People go, but why do you do it? Because they don't understand that feeling of the 3% when you get it through, right? And I always used to go home and my mum said to me, she was like, why are you doing this, Callum? Like, you could just do something easier, like in marketing, and like do Facebook ads, or, you know, do like creatives for marketing, because you're always obsessed with like businesses and helping them progress. Like, marketing would be an easier pursuit for you, right? And I was like, you just don't get it, mum. You don't get it, because what sales really is, and the difference between, you know, good salesmen to unbelievable and world-class salesmen, is the self-mastery. And it leads really closely back into what I've been talking about with fitness as well. It's kind of a similar thing. It's like, you know, with fitness, when you're pushing for that physique or the competitions, you spend so many time failing. You spend more time failing than you win. But when you get to that moment of winning, you feel unbelievable. But something that I just really want to talk about is, it's like in sales, a lot of people put a lot of like negative connotations on salespeople. They think they're sleazy, they're just in it for the money, they're like trying to make people do things that they don't want to do. Yes, there most certainly is an argument for that in particular industries, for sure, right? Especially car sales, But those guys are some of the most resilient people you'll ever meet in your life. However, what salespeople really are doing is they're trying to level themselves up so much, their own character, their own mindset, their own personality, of understanding the human psyche of why people make decisions and do things that the way they do. Something I love to always think about is, you know, think how many sales calls I've taken in my life, and you get on a call with a prospect and like, that's like their first interaction with you, or maybe 1 or 2 times where they've been in similar situations, right? So it's like you have to be doing everything in your power to make them feel comfortable that you're just a guy who is here to help them solve their problem and show them that they need to change their ways of thinking and their mindset to get them closer to where they want to be. Because let's talk, for example, fitness, right? Why are so many people struggling to be consistent? Why are so many people like struggling to get to the desired outcome of their goal, right? And a lot of people are delusional with this as well. It's like they say, yeah, like I've been trying so hard, or I've been really consistent, but it's like, well, if you have, you wouldn't really be on this call with me right now. So my job as, if you want to call it a salesman, or the guy who has to open their mind to show them that they are potentially doing something or having ways of thinking that are stopping them from getting themselves from A to B. And like when you challenge someone on like, oh, I'm doing it, I'm definitely doing it right, or no, like I'm definitely giving it my all, or when they say, you get to the end and you give them a price and they go, oh, I really need to think about it. And you need to, as a good salesman, you need to show them that there's two identity shifts, right? So you need to show them that the reason that they are on this call right now, the way of thinking, their actions and behavior has led them to exactly where they are right now, or otherwise they wouldn't be on this call. And to change, they need to adopt new behaviors, mindsets, and show themselves that what they're trying to seek is not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable, and they need to eliminate fear. So the guy that they're looking to become, the man or the woman, what behaviors, what mindsets, what actions are they going to need to have to get themselves to A to B a lot quicker? And you need to show them that this is the thing that's actually stopping them from getting to A to B. Because yeah, in life, right, some people are more fortunate than others. Everybody's situation is different, right? And it may be easier for someone to get to desired outcome easier than other people, right? You know, kids, family, financial situations, living situations, who knows, right? Certain careers as well. But if they adopt these behaviors of the guy that they're looking to become and be consistent with it, they're not really that much different. And understanding in the human psychic is because as humans, we're always wanting to make our decisions the comfortable way. It's easier for us to go away and think about it because it gives us more time to potentially not move forward or not take action here, right now, and here and then. It's the same with going and speaking to your wife. Putting responsibility on someone else, right? Because at the end of the day, who's going to be responsible for turning up, doing the sessions, turning up to the coaching calls, doing the check-ins? It's not going to be the wife, your wife. It's going to be you. So what's going to keep happening if you keep placing responsibility on someone else that is in charge of getting you? I don't have the money, or maybe this is a little bit expensive, or I just don't think that this is the right time for me now, right? It's like a lot of times people need to understand, and they think this is like when they're making a decision that they probably see it as like a 60 minute or a 24 to 48 hour decision. But the reason why they're on this call and going away and thinking about it, or maybe it's not the right time or they don't have the money, is exactly why they're on this call, because they've been thinking about it, saying they don't have the money or saying it's not the right time for way too long. And they need to adopt a new way of thinking, which is going to get them closer to where they want to be. So it's all about changing the perception of where you are now and adopting new mindsets and behaviors to get yourself to where you want to be. And that is what you're doing as a salesman. You're showing these people that it's okay, we've made mistakes, we've had these behaviors and mindsets that have stopped us from getting you to where you want to be. And I'm here to show you by a few small changes that your life can really look a lot different in the next 6, 12 months and years. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable. But I would be doing you a disservice if I wasn't here to show you what you're capable of. And that's what is the difference between good and great salesmen. Because what good salesmen start doing is discounts, payment plans. They start telling you about all these features of the products that's going to help them. And yeah, right, there comes a time and a place where you're going to need these things, right? However, it's all about really deep diving into the human psyche and understanding this is what they need to do to separate them from where they are now and where they want to be. But the whole point of this podcast is, right, think about when you're asking these uncomfortable questions, how difficult it is, because you're asking someone really personal things that they have to share with you because you need to know them, that's the only way that you can actually help them, by being honest upfront and sharing and having this honest conversation. Because the more I know, the more you share with me, the more I can help you. But then as a salesman, how much you need to deep dive into your own self-mastery, understanding like how you make decisions, how sometimes you may choose comfort. You let that little voice go in your head where, you know, you don't do the role plays to become a better salesman. You don't ask uncomfortable questions about where you could have went better on your last call. You start trying to get on the pursuit of your health, and sometimes you have a few days off and you choose the easy route. You maybe aren't reading the books, listening to the podcasts that are going to help develop your mindset. That's going to project into your calls, and then you're going to, I maybe shouldn't ask that question because it's easier, it's more comfortable, and you choose the comfort route, and that prospect could tell you something that could change the whole trajectory of that call. It's the same with an objection. Instead of having 3, 4, 5 objections, the difference between having 1 to 2, 3 objections is asking those really deep, uncomfortable questions. But as a salesman, you have to be really dialed in your own pursuit of your own self-mastery. That is gonna help you ask those uncomfortable questions. And people don't understand the difficulties of what we have to go through. They see you having the freedom, maybe making your own schedule around your calendar or making money, but it's not always what it looks like. Don't be fooled, because the amount of self-mastery that you have to put in to be a good salesman, or should I say a world-class salesman, is insane. And that's why I'm obsessed with it, because it's the persistent pursuit of your best self. And the more I pour into myself, the more I pour into my own habits, my own behaviors, my actions, my sales skills, I can help these prospects become the person that they're seeking. And yeah, sales is just like, it's one of those ones where it is the rep after rep. And the only way that you're going to ever get better at it is showing up every single day. But yeah, like for an inspiring salesman or someone who's already in sales, I hope you've watched this today and I've taken some value from this. And if you ever want to deep dive into how I do things, or you want any help or my own perspective on something, please hit me up. My DMs are open. Callum Dunlop _ on Instagram. I'd love to hear what you've got to say and where your mindset's at. But yeah, this is something that's I sit and think about on the daily. I hope you can probably tell from this video how passionate I really am. And yeah, you got to keep pushing forward no matter how many times you get knocked back and fail. Remember what I said about the 97% and the 3%. How sweet does it feel when you get that paid in full? How good does it feel when you close that prospect and you get that deal across the line, or that appointment, or in the last few days of the month where you're staying up to all hours, calling all the prospects, trying to get all your follow-ups, and you're getting these deals in. There is genuinely no feeling like it, and that's why we do what we do, right?